We've got some breaking political related news. I wanted to share this post from North Carolina Senator Phil Berger talking about the redrawing of the congressional map in North Carolina. And we actually just got a statement from both Republicans and Democrats regarding this push here in the Tar Heel state. Essentially, the statement reads, earlier today, North Carolina Speaker Destin Hall, and I agreed to return to Raleigh to back up President Trump by redrawing our congressional map in North Carolina to block blue state Democrats who want to take control of Congress from Republicans. Now, if this move sounds familiar, of course, we've covered this at length here on Live Impact News in other states. You remember probably the most memorable coverage came from Texas as Democrats there decamped to other states, including Illinois, in order to, what we saw inevitably was delay. They didn't really stop, but delayed the General Assembly, state leaders in Texas from pushing through redrawn maps that essentially would flip 5 seats from Democrats to Republicans, most likely. And this is coming ahead of midterms as we start to see more discussions take place kind of nationwide over what the makeup politically, partisan-wise, would be in Congress, since we know that the party in power around midterms generally loses some seats during midterms. Of course, then following that, there were discussions that popped up in California about the Dems doing the same thing to try to regain seats for Democrats. And then we also had discussions in, quite frankly, the Carolinas that were whispers of this might happen. However, seemingly now today, we are getting more confidence that this is going to be a real push that happens here in North Carolina. So this is the statement we got from Republicans. Legislative leaders agreed to hold votes during the previously scheduled October legislative session to block the efforts of blue state Democrats to take control of Congress from Republicans. This follows President Donald Trump's call urging legislatures across the country to take action to nullify Democrat redistricting efforts. The General Assembly anticipates returning to Raleigh next week to consider a new congressional map. A statement from House Speaker Destin Hall. President Trump earned a clear mandate from the voters in North Carolina and the rest of the country, and we intend to defend it by drawing an additional Republican congressional seat. Our state won't stand by while Democrats like Gavin Newsom redraw districts. As we mentioned, California had its kind of response to what happened in Texas to aid their effort to obtain a majority in the U.S. House. We will not allow them to undermine the will of the voters and President Trump's agenda. Now, here is a statement from the office of House Democratic Leader Robert Reeves. So, Democratic response. Republican lawmakers made clear today that they plan to come back to Raleigh and disenfranchise the voters of the state. Instead of lowering costs for families or ensuring Medicaid can stay afloat, they are hell-bent on consolidating as much power as they can. Call it what it is. They are stealing a congressional district in order to shield themselves from accountability at the ballot box. All right, so kind of a lot to not just dive into, but also wait and see what happens, because it sounds like this is all in progress. As we mentioned before, the statement received from Republicans say that the General Assembly expects to return next week to consider this new congressional map. But interesting in the backdrop of this larger nationwide push we see for both parties to try to gather as many seats, or what they presume would be seats for them, by redrawing these districts, and see what this does for the balance of power in Congress with the midterms coming up. Much more to come on this. Like we mentioned, this just came into our newsroom, so our team is working on getting more response, looking more into the impacts, all of the nuances of this. So we'll have that for you here on WCNC Plus throughout the rest of the afternoon and evening. But once again, if you're just joining us on Live Impact here, Big political news from North Carolina. It looks like there's going to be an earnest push by Republicans to redistrict here in the state, as we see both political parties in other states kind of maneuvering to gather as many seats for midterms.